Welcome to the series Bible in Bed, where I give summaries of what I've read. That right? But we're actually starting in Proverbs. Proverbs is one of my favorite books of the Bible. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. Proverbs 1, here are my notes. Verse 1, I write, Solomon was King David's son. King David was the one who was chosen by God to take the place of Saul um, after God had turned his back away from Saul because of his disobedience. Now, David was king, um, but during the reign of David, he had done something that was not appropriate and very bad, which was to take the wife of Uriah, send him to war, get him killed, and then, you know, do things with his Uriah's wife, who now is David's wife. They have a son together. That son dies, and then the son that was produced out of their union is Solomon. This is the Solomon. Now, Solomon was known to be the wisest man on earth. And that was because he went to the Lord and asked, God asked him, whatever you want, you can receive. And God said, give me your wisdom. Um, at first, when I was growing up listening to this story, I used to say, of all things, wisdom. What is wisdom? Well, Proverbs 1 gives us an understanding of what wisdom is, and the older I'm getting, the wiser I'm becoming, and I'm very grateful that this is in the Bible. So, verse 2 goes on, wisdom and instruction. Wisdom and instruction are words of understanding. Okay. Verse 4 tells us that knowledge are facts and information, skills acquired by a person, and awareness of familiarity. Okay. And then discretion is behaving to avoid offense, the freedom to decide what should be done in a particular situation. Okay. In verse 4, we're told to have knowledge and be discreet. Verse 6, to understand a proverb, you have to know that the fear of the Lord is the start of knowledge. And this kind of fear is not the same fear as every other fear where you're trembling at your feet and you can't move. It's more like, I'm at awe of the Lord and what He's doing, who He is. Verse 22, wisdom cries, how long will you love simplicity? The opposite of simplicity is complexity, which is quality of being intricate. Now, I was a little confused on this one because, I feel like simplicity is actually really good. And I wanted to understand why he would say that. But in this case, what it's saying is that when I looked up the definition of simplicity, it's lacking the quality of being intricate, lacking the quality of being like different and peculiar. We're so simple that we become like everything else, right? Or everyone else. And so in this case, he's talking about simplicity in a way of we got to stop being lazy, okay? And there's a difference between humility and simplicity. We get that mixed up a lot. We think that being simple defines us to be humble, but it's definitely not the same thing. And this is wisdom crying out. How long are you going to be this simple? Okay? Life is deeper. There's more to life than just the bare minimum. We have to be okay with the hard stuff sometimes. Okay. Wisdom is characterized as feminine. I made a note of that because I always used to hear um, it being said a lot. that women embody wisdom, especially when they're older, like older women. I remember I was working at a facility and there was this older woman, and she would continue to pick fights with the younger workers. And I guess it was my turn to be attacked as a young worker. And I remember I said to her, I said, "You're old enough to be my grandmother. I should be able to come to you for wisdom." And I don't know if that was like a learned concept that every woman who was of an older age are automatically wise. Although although that should be the case, because when the Bible tells us that one part of being a woman of God is being able to teach the younger women. Okay, so that is supposed to be the case. A lot of times, women are understood to be wise. Women are understood to have good information, and I think it has a lot to do with um, the the way that we carry ourselves, the way that we should carry ourselves, has a lot to do with the experiences that we have. And I think because women are we also go through the process of creating, in our bodies. We create humans, we carry humans, raising humans, the patience that it takes to be a mom, the patience that it takes to even take care of the woman's body. I think that there is some kind of interest into why wisdom is characterized as feminine. Now, verse 33, it says, "If I listen," this is my notes. I said, "If I listen to wisdom, I will dwell and be at peace without fear or evil." Now, here's the thing. A lot of times it's known that the Bible is not literal, it's hypothetical. But what I'm learning about scripture as I continue to read my word, um, I am not realizing how much God has given us the antidote to a fear free life. Fear attaches to us when we detach from the Lord. Fear attaches to us when we stray away from His instruction. And what it seems like here is that peace, and then to live without fear or evil, we would have to listen to wisdom, which is obedience. Obedience keeps us from danger. And that's something I tell my daughter all the time. But this is God saying, hey, obey my words, keep my instruction, and you'll see that you'll live a fear free life. You'll be at peace. So, those are my takeaway notes from Proverbs 1. I will see you guys next time for Proverbs 2. Toodles!